Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be interviewing a figure in the world of horror. Her name is Denise Gossett. She is the founder of Shriekfest in Los Angeles, which is a horror movie festival. And she's also an actress and stuff like that. And we're going to be talking to her today. I found out about her recently, and I wanted to interview her because she seems like she'd be an interesting interview subject. You know, the fact that she has been an actress for many years, and then she went into owning her own festival and stuff. I wanted to talk to her and all that stuff. I was looking through her filmography. She's also Lena Luthor in the late 80s, early 90s TV show Superboy, and I was struck by that, and because that was like her only credit for like a decade, and then she started making movies and TV shows again after that. Oh, and here she is right now. So here is Denise Gossett. Hi, Denise.
Yes, hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
You ready for this?
Oh, yes. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So before we begin, I usually like to ask this question in email, but lately every time I ask it, they end up passing on the interview overall for some reason.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, it's really weird. Are you easily offended?
I would say not easily. I'm not a snowflake, if that's what you're asking.
Well, because I like to swear, and I'm a bit of a pervert, but I also like to accommodate my guests.
I'm with normal stuff. I mean, if you're gonna go bonkers or crazy on me, then maybe, but probably not. I probably won't be offended. How's that for an answer?
Well, I can be a good boy. Don't worry. So let's start with your acting career. When did you know that you wanted to be an actress?
Oh my gosh, it was something I always talked about. Even as a little girl, I either wanted to dance, sing, or act, and I would be in little plays and pageants and dance things here and there, but I never really did anything to pursue it until high school. I started doing plays. And then I was completely hooked. Wow.
Were there any actors you idolized?
I get asked that question all the time, and there really weren't. Like, I just, in general, knew I was going to be an actor. Didn't necessarily know how. Just knew that I was going to. I mean, it was really bizarre.
Mm-hmm. Where did you grow up?
I grew up most of my childhood in Florida, but I was born in Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
And when did you move to L.A.?
I moved to L.A. right after college.
And I see that you were, I don't know if a member, but you studied with the Groundlings.
Oh, yes. Yes, that was a lot of fun. You become very, very close with your classmates quickly. And after each term, it's not a test, so to speak, but they kind of evaluate you to see if you need to move on or stay at that level. And I ended up doing, I can't even remember, 2 or 3 levels, and then I was ready to just move on. I got busy with acting work and just kind of got away from the school, but I loved it.
Yeah, I've interviewed a couple Groundlings from the Pee Wee Herman era.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Lynn Stewart and Terry Bolo.
Whoa.
Very nice ladies, and got great stories about those days. And I don't know. It's almost romanticized about just how cool L.A. was, back in the mid '70s.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure. Gosh, can you imagine?
Yeah. They were so irreverent back then,
Yeah.
So how long was it before you got an agent?
I got an agent in college. It wasn't until college that I started thinking about it, and I had a meeting with an agent in Florida, and signed with her, and immediately started going out for different things, and just loved every second. Like, the more I did, the more I loved. Never got annoyed with any of it, just simply saw it as, okay, well, this is what you have to do. This is the process. And just kept falling deeper and deeper in love with it. And my plan in college was to finish college and work a little bit, save up, and move to LA. And that is what I did. And
you're saying you enjoyed auditioning?
I did. There are times now where I don't always love it, but I've noticed if you're prepared, you do love it a lot more than if you aren't. I guess it's that way with anything in life, really. If you don't enjoy something, it's usually because you don't know enough about it or you're not prepared enough for it. And when you are, things are just easy breezy and you like it.
Yeah, you have to really know about it to love it.
Right.
And be passionate about it.
Yes.
A lot of people they get into things without knowing all the facts.
That is true. They think they're going to just be discovered. It's going to be easy. I mean, I have people contact me every week on Facebook or Twitter or something asking, so can you get me into your agent? What should I do? And when I start naming the basics, get into an acting class, get your headshots, they're kind of like, what?
Yeah.
You don't realize there is a basic plan you have to do.
I know. I used to be just like that when I started out doing stand-up comedy. I had no friends, no mentors. Still don't that much, a little bit, because I've made so many contacts and everything since, and in the film industry and stuff that I'm pursuing. But I thank God for the podcast world, because if I hadn't discovered podcasts, I'd be just still completely, ignorant of the business side, because I've learned so much from it.
Oh, I'm sure. It's probably like college almost.
Oh, yes.
It's like your form of college. Actually, it might be better than college because you can really target in on what you want to know and ask those questions.
Absolutely.
Being forced to take a class you never wanted to take.
Yeah, and for free.
Right.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah. So I hadn't realized that you were Lena Luthor on the Superboy series.
Yep, that was my first job that got me my SAG card.
Yeah, I used to watch that show all the time when I was a kid. Looking back, it's so cheesy and badly acted.
Right? I know, but let me tell you, when I was in college and booked that, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be on TV. This is a huge deal. It was so fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was a low budget series, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was shot in Orlando, which worked out perfectly because that's where I was living.
Oh, I didn't know that. It was shot in Florida.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I heard that they ran into legal issues with syndication, and they had trouble trying to get it on DVD.
Oh, you're kidding! I didn't know that. Well, that would explain a lot.
Yeah, that's why you never see it.
Oh my gosh! I wonder if they. So obviously they never got that figured out. That is a shame, because I wondered why isn't this thing airing anymore?
Yeah, that's been going on for 25 plus years.
Oh my gosh, 25 plus years.
Yeah, and funny thing is, you go to Comic Cons and stuff. I mean, there's things for it there and stuff, but nobody can really see it unless, I guess, they bootleg them on YouTube or something.
Oh my God! Every once in a while, I'll get a residual check, so it must be showing somewhere. But yeah, you would think it would be on some channel somewhere.
Yeah, maybe it's maybe they have it in Europe or something. Who knows?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So that was a good first acting experience.
It was wonderful.
Nice. So why was that your only '90s acting credit? What happened after that?
Well, that's when I moved to LA. And so this is a word of advice for actors out there. So when I moved to LA, I was told, you will not get an agent unless you are SAG. You will not get any auditions unless you are SAG, which is a complete and utter lie.
Right.
So I joined, because, from doing Superboy, I got my SAG card. I was Taft Hartley, and I joined, which was the biggest mistake. So now I am a small fish in a huge pond, and I cannot get an audition. I met with some agents, but they were slimy.
Yeah.
What I should have done is kept to that SAG eligibility, because it doesn't go away.
Mm-hmm.
Not joined and done tons of non-union work, because I was getting offered non-union work right and left, and I was having to turn it down because I was now in the union. But there's no way to build your resume there without doing non-union and getting in the doors and meeting some of these people. So I struggled for quite a while because I joined right away.
Wow.
Yeah. So I always tell actors, don't join until you're forced to join, which would be your second SAG job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds like something that would be logical.
Right. But, I mean, everyone said you can't go to LA without being SAG, so I did what they said. Mistake.
I interviewed this one Hollywood agent who has a series of YouTube videos on how to get into the industry, and she had such a good personality and stuff. But when I interviewed her, I don't know, she sounded like not like the way she presents herself in the videos, and I asked her about her own career, and she sounded very bitter, and she just like tried to change the subject a lot of times, right? And then when she saw the episode, she attacked me and stuff, and when I posted it, people were messaging me like, why did you interview her? She is slimy, she's manipulative and all this stuff. And I see it now, especially when I see stuff that she posts on Facebook.
That's terrible.
Yeah, so I feel really bad that I interviewed her.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's interesting that you could tell just from talking to her what she was like.
Yeah, and I'm hearing from people who actually know her, and everything that I could hear, it was right on the money.
Oh wow, good gut instinct there.
Yeah, God, it was really embarrassing, but I got through it.
Good.
So did it become increasingly hard to get roles in TV and film?
It did, because of being union, and then I kept switching agents. I switched agents a lot. I'm a firm believer in you wait that 90 days, which you legally have to, and if you have not gone out, then you dump them. And so I went through a lot of agents because I was not about to waste time with these people. And I finally settled on, I had so many agents and so many managers until finally I found a good one. And I've been with her for a long time. But that's my advice to every actor. If you're not going out through the agent, you should also be hustling yourself and getting yourself work. But if your agent is not getting you auditions, you need to move on. Before you know, I have friends who've been with the same agent for 15 years, and they go on maybe 4 auditions a year. That's ridiculous. You cannot have a career doing that.
Yeah.
Because most likely you're not going to book. So if you have 4 auditions and you never book, you're never getting anywhere. You should really be going out at least once a week, preferably more.
Yeah.
So for all actors listening, move on, but don't fire them till you've lined up a new one.
Yeah.
You at least have someone potentially submitting you at all times. And I noticed a lot of agents just didn't get me.
Mm-hmm.
They would either submit me older or younger or for roles that I wasn't right for. That was a frustrating process too. So try to visit your agents in person a lot. Let them see you dress differently. Let them just get to know you. Because otherwise they just go off what your headshots look like.
Yeah.
And it may not be everything you can do it. I mean, what if you get pegged as the mom role, but you're really good at a cop or a lawyer, and they don't submit you on that? So it's kind of like you really got to trial and error and play around with this industry.
Yeah. It must have been difficult financially.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, that's why when I first moved to LA, I immediately got a job because I knew I'm going to need to be paying for things.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not going to be a working actor right away because most people aren't. So people need to keep that in mind to save up before you move to LA. Actually, the best thing to do would be to get credits where you currently live before you move to LA, which is what I did. So I had a little bit of a resume before I went out there.
Mm-hmm. But when you got out there, did you do a lot of theater?
I did. Yep, I did because I had done a lot of that in Orlando too.
Mm-hmm. It's so weird with the theater scene in LA because you know, like nobody goes to see shows, and yet it's an acting town.
I know, it is bizarre, and there are all these tiny little seat theaters, and nobody goes, and I mean, I went from doing these grand productions for big professional companies in Orlando and at the college to these dinky little theaters, and I'm like, what is going on here? I was thinking the same thing you are. Like, how can this be an acting town, but yet nobody has great shows here? So after I did that a bunch, I got to the point where I'm like, this is kind of a waste of my time.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, the whole industry is crazy.
Yes, it is.
Oh wow. So when did your interest in horror start?
I've always loved horror films. It was the one genre, believe it or not, that my parents would let my brother and I watch when we were growing up. I don't know why. I mean, it's like the worst, right? It's got nudity, killing, everything in it. But for some reason, they would let us watch that every once in a while. So, of course, we would go to the video store and pick out something cool. And so I started liking it a long, long time ago. And then just have always enjoyed, especially going to a movie theater and watching these movies. And, you know, hopefully it'll scare you or something. I love that feeling.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember what your first horror movie was you saw?
I don't remember the first one. I remember it being something pretty cheesy because I was like, what the heck is this? But then, you know, then it started with like A Nightmare on Elm Street and, you know, Halloween's and Friday the 13th and all these things. And it was like, whoa, what's happening here? And then I remember going to haunted houses and, you know, there'd be people at the haunted house dressed up as those characters. And I just remember being so scared, but I loved it at the same time. It was like, you know, yeah, I want to go, but no, I don't really want to go. And you end up going.
Mm-hmm.
But Freddy would chase me everywhere because as soon as they realize they're scaring you, of course they follow you.
Yeah, when I was a year old, my parents had me watching The Shining.
A year old? What?
Yeah. And it scared the shit out of me.
Well, yeah, a year old? What?
Yeah, they learned their lesson. They learned their lesson. They wouldn't let me watch any horror again, except for the more PG-oriented ones like Ghostbusters and Gremlins. After that,
Tommy, that is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, I've told this story so many times, and I love telling it. The tape that we had The Shining on in 1987. we taped it over for Back to the Future, my favorite movie of all time. And I still have the tape to this day. And if you rewind it to the very beginning and just before the PG graphics of HBO come up, you can see Shelley Duvall's face when she's talking to the doctor, and it's very spooky.
So you still have a little bit of taste of what you went through.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And yeah, oh my God. So like they only let me watch the PG ones for a long time. And then by 91, when I was 8 years old, I started watching horror movies late at night when they were asleep. Both.
Oh, sneaking, huh?
Yeah, both on cable and on USA Up All Night.
Oh, wow.
And that's how it began for me. And I have seen so many, like even the most obscure horror movies made from Canada I've seen.
Wow. You need to come out to Shriekfest.
I would love to. This has been a very dark year for me, and next year is going to be a lot better. Some stuff happened this year that I couldn't go to LA at all this year.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's getting better though.
Good.
And I'll try to make it next year. Heck, I might even be living out there full time next year. I'm trying to make that happen finally.
Oh, there you go. Cool.
Yeah. But so what are your favorite horror movies?
You know, probably because the age I saw them at, but A Nightmare on Elm Street. Let's see, the new ones. I love the new It. Love it. I liked, oh gosh, the name just left me. What's the one where the women are in the caves? The heck, why can't I think of the name?
Women in a Cave.
Yeah, they're like, they're in caves, you know, kind of like hiking in caves, or I forget what you call it, spelunking or whatever you call it. I can't think of the name. Oh, God, it's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't think, but I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Saw movies. I know people are out there cringing, but I love them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always love remakes, but I did like the It remake.
I like the It remake. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, you know what they did with using, you know, CGI and stuff to manipulate him was pretty darn cool. There were many times I turned next to my husband. I'm like, what are we watching? This is so cool. Yeah.
Oh, what I love the fact that they made the boys so real by putting raunchy humor into their mouths.
Right.
That's what I loved. You know.
Yeah. They did a great job.
My favorite horror movies. I love the 1980 original Friday the 13th is my favorite slasher movie.
Yeah.
Because I love Texas. I mean, I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Halloween, but Friday the 13th was the first slasher movie I ever saw. And
was it really?
Yeah.
You know, and it's so good, and I think it still holds up. I mean, you look back on some of these, and there's parts that are a little bit cheesy, but they still hold up, which is great.
Yeah. Oh my God. I've interviewed Adrienne King on the show. She's such a sweetheart. She's very nice.
Nice.
Yeah. And let's see what else. Dawn of the Dead, 1978.
Of course.
That's just a classic. I love that movie. And it's all those George Romero zombie movies. They got me through a pretty dark time in my life after my grandma had died, and because I took care of my grandma for 9 months after I graduated high school, and those movies got me through it and stuff afterwards, and I get really emotional when I think about those movies.
Oh, wow. You know, you never really hear people talk about horror movies getting them through something. So that's really interesting. It was like your escapism, right?
Exactly, escapism.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never heard that before, but I'm glad they helped you.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching everything during that period, but those ones I think about the most for some reason. I don't know why. But let's see what else. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I love all the Charlie Band movies. Probably my favorite one. There's this one he did. Nobody ever talks about it. He doesn't even talk about it, and there's not much written about it on the internet. It's called The Alchemist.
Oh, I think I only saw part of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's good?
Oh, yeah, it's cheesy good, and for some reason, it was shot in 1981 and didn't come out till 86.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it's on that tape I just told you about, too.
Your collection of stuff.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Have you ever seen Mirror, Mirror?
Yes.
Love that movie.
Yeah.
The 1931 Dracula, I think, still holds up after all these years.
Yeah, it does.
That's a great one. Let's see. God, there's so many I like. I mean, it's one of those lists that changes all the time.
Sure.
And stuff. It's funny. I love like Christmas themed slasher movies like Black Christmas and Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah.
And To All a Good Night.
Yeah. And there was the past few years, there's been in the indie world a lot of people making Christmas-themed horror films as well.
Yeah,
We're showing one this year at Shriekfest called Sick for Toys.
Oh, I haven't heard of that. That sounds pretty cool.
It's sick and twisted, let me tell you. You should definitely check it out.
Love Sick and Twisted. There was one. I don't know if it's officially out yet, but Felissa Rose is involved in it. It's about an ugly sweater, Christmas sweater that's possessed.
Oh wow!
Yeah, which is perfect.
When you put it on, does it possess you, or is it just the sweater that does the killing?
I don't know. It's one or the other.
That's funny. The things people come up with amaze me.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's just. Yeah. Those holiday ones are the best. I remember back in the 70s, there was one that was like Veterans Day themed that Bob Clark, who made Black Christmas, made just before it. I can't remember the name of it though.
Oh wow.
Do you have a preference of what kind of horror you like?
It depends on my mood. I would say usually I like more like a thinking, smart, intelligent horror.
Mm-hmm.
There's times for the slasher and there's times for, all that stuff. But I think I mostly prefer the ones where you're having to think. It's not just kill after kill after kill. I guess that's why I like the Saws so much, because you're thinking like, where are we going with this?
Yeah, I just like everything. I just like.
You like it all. See, I watch a ton of horror because of the film festival.
Right.
And people will say, well, have you seen this one? I'm like, if it's new, I haven't seen anything, because the only horror I'm watching lately is everything that's submitted, because we get so much.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever have a crush on anybody in horror?
Not really. Isn't that weird? Because I know most people do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Linnea Quigley was a big one for me.
Ah, yes. She is a sweet girl.
Yes, I interviewed her twice, and she interviewed me for her documentary.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I told her about my crush on her and stuff, and she thought that was very sweet.
I bet she did.
Yeah, I went a little further with it, but it's inappropriate.
Oh no! And how'd she handle that?
Oh, she loved it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. It's funny. I won't be inappropriate with a person unless I know that they have few boundaries.
Right.
That's why I asked you when we started.
That's probably smart to do, because there's so many people that might be easily offended.
Yeah. Fortunately, I've been very, very lucky. I haven't interviewed many easily offended people on the show, maybe at least 2, and that's it.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah. I'll tell you something. Hollywood is full of dirty people.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing that all in the news lately.
Well, I don't mean that far, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I do. Everyone's got a sick sense of humor, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you start going to conventions early on?
I didn't. That was something I discovered after I had moved to LA. And oh my gosh, are they fun?
Yeah.
It's funny because I was given a ticket to Fangoria.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, okay, I'll check it out. It was like a reunion. I couldn't believe how many people I knew at this thing. Plus, just to look at everything and walk around, it was so much fun.
Yeah, oh my God. So when I was growing up, Fangoria was like the only horror convention.
Yep.
And they would come to the Bay Area where I'm from, to San Jose, and my parents weren't into horror except for the black and white stuff that they grew up on.
Sure.
And so they didn't really want to take me to them and stuff. So I actually didn't start going to conventions until 2 years ago. After my car accident, and I decided that I was going to pursue show business.
Oh, you had a bad car accident?
Yeah. In early 2015, I had a pretty bad car accident that put me in a coma for 30 days.
Oh, wow. So when you woke up, did you remember anything?
I remember, that whole day was very ominous in general, and leading up to that, I don't remember much because it was alcohol induced.
Oh, wow.
And stuff. Yeah. And oh my God, I just had the biggest wake up call to reality from it.
Sure.
And I just realized, I can't work a real job again and stuff. And I'm not happy unless I'm performing and writing and stuff. So I just decided I was going to do it. And how I discovered the convention scene basically is I always knew, of course, about conventions, but I didn't know that much about them. And my friend took me to a Comic-Con, and I immediately became hooked. Oh my God, I actually feel like I belong here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I belong here, and just I don't feel like an outcast. I feel like everyone here is a nerd like me. Right. And then a month later, we went to LA for 8 days, and we went to Monsterpalooza.
Oh, I've been there too. It's fun.
Yes, we went for the Sunday session. It was our first day in town. We had just the best time there, and I met everybody, and oh my God, it was just awesome. And then I became hooked on conventions ever since.
Yeah, well, you went to a couple of the best ones.
Yeah, that to me, the ones I've been to, that to me is the best one because they don't rip off their fans. The prices are just great,
Right. Oh, I know some of them are really expensive.
I know. Was Fangoria pretty expensive?
I had been given a ticket, so I had no idea what that one cost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one couldn't have been that expensive, at least not back then in the 90s.
Right.
Yeah. Do you think that horror, though, now, in terms of originality, has become a little antiquated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can almost answer that about every genre. They are...
Yeah.
Yeah, they're searching. They can't seem to find a unique thought on anything.
Yeah, you are the first guest to agree with me on that, by the way.
Really?
Yes.
Independent-wise, I see tons of unique things.
Yeah.
But studio-wise, it's just replay after replay. That's why, I wish these studios would wisen up and, come check out Shriekfest. You would not believe the unique films we get.
Mm-hmm.
It's really sad that the studios aren't getting it.
Yeah, there was a 13-year gap where I didn't see a horror movie that truly moved me. And ironically, 2003, did you see the movie May?
No.
Yeah, it's a movie. Angela Bettis, she plays this girl who's really crazy, borderline sociopathic, and she's a complete outcast. And she has trouble making friends. She makes friends with Christina Ricci, and then she gets a boyfriend. And she, by near the end of the movie, she scares both of them off, and she ends up killing both of them and makes them into her own Frankenstein that doesn't come alive. At the
Oh my goodness.
I would tell you the ending, but it's just too good to be spoiled.
Okay, so it's called May.
It's called May. It's not really a horror film. It's more like a psychological drama with a horror, theme.
Okay.
It's really great. But that was the last one I saw for 13 years that truly moved me. And then in 2016, I saw Jackson Stewart's Beyond the Gates. You seen that?
Oh, yep.
Yeah. That movie just like I was like, okay, there's new hope for horror now when I saw that.
Right.
Because I love the 80s and I love horror from the 80s and stuff, and that was the first one in a while that truly moved me.
Yeah, and then like they have It come out and it's so successful that they immediately go right into, okay, we're making part 2.
Yeah.
So it's like they try and they repeat, and every once in a while they luck out, but I just don't think they're trying hard enough. They've got the same sort of ideas over and over again, instead of talking to some real horror fans and finding out all the things that they could do.
For some reason, though, I think if they had, if it had not been successful, I think they still would have made part 2, just because they need to tell the rest of the story, since they're remaking the original that was a miniseries.
True.
Although
I don't know. I mean, if it hadn't made money, it all comes down to money nowadays, which is so sad. Nobody makes anything just for the sheer joy of it anymore. It's all about money.
Yeah. I mean, even back in the day, they made movies for money, but they also had they would make movies that were like tax write-offs.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, they don't even do that anymore.
Yeah. And some of those were pretty good movies. Like Revenge of the Nerds was a tax write-off for 20th Century Fox.
Right.
It's just
give things a chance, and if it failed, they'd use it as a write-off.
Yeah, it's so crazy how the industry's changed.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even fully aware of it until after I came back from my accident. So like when I actually started pursuing the biz, I was just like, what the hell just happened?
Right.
Because I went through a period where I wasn't watching many new movies and TV shows that were coming out and stuff. I just didn't have any time. I was out socializing, drinking, partying, and all that stuff. And then when I started pursuing the biz, I was just like, what the fuck happened?
Right.
It's just weird. So
you think it would be the opposite because there's so many venues now?
Yeah.
So if it fails in the theater, you still got, VOD and streaming, and you'd think people would take more chances because there's so many more opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
They don't seem to be.
Well, it's funny. People say there's too much content now. I think there's always been too much content. It's just now there's more options of where to see it,
Right.
Because back in the day, all you had was the theater, and you had, 3 major networks and about, 7 cable channels. Now you got 600.
Right.
And you got Amazon and Netflix to watch it. You can go get movies at Redbox or, buy them at Best Buy or something.
Right.
And
it's cheaper to make things now, too, so that is a factor, because you don't have to shoot on film.
Yeah, you could just do digital.
Yeah.
So what is the genesis behind Shriekfest, and how did you come up with it, and when?
Well, let's see. In 2000, I had starred in a horror film.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my first big, oh my gosh, I'm in this movie. It's a lot of me. But I wanted them to put it in film festivals because I knew it wasn't going to go to theaters.
Yeah.
And just on a whim, I said to my sister-in-law, what do you think about starting a horror film festival just for fun, kind of for Halloween? We could dress up, goofy, right? Just so naive. And she's like, okay, let's do it. So we threw this thing together. It was August 2001. Might have even been end of July, actually. And we said, well, if we're going to do it, we got to do it for October. So we didn't know what we were doing, so we threw this thing together, and somehow it came together, and we got like 45 submissions total that year, but a lot of them were good. So we screened these films and gave away prizes, and it was fun. And then it blew up. The next year, we got so many submissions from all over the world. It was like we filled this need that people desperately wanted. And, of course, now there's like a horror film festival on every corner.
Yeah.
7-Eleven. Crazy. It is so crazy. I kind of feel bad for all the filmmakers with this many film festivals out there.
Yeah. Wow. And it's good that you had somebody to help you because, nobody can do that or even a convention by themselves.
Well, but the problem is then, 2 years later, she had a son and moved to Michigan. So then it was all on me. My husband was helping for a while, but even now, I have some helpers, but I do 98% of the work.
Wow.
I know, it's insane, especially trying to have an acting career, too. Because, I shot quite a few things this year, and of course, then Shriekfest is on hold while I shoot, and right now it's gearing up for the festival, so acting is more or less on hold while I'm prepping for Shriekfest. It's kind of crazy. Plus, I have a 10-year-old daughter, so it gets difficult sometimes.
Yeah. Was it very expensive to do?
If you're smart about how you do it, I knew I wanted to have a really good theater with good projection and good sound, because what's the point of having a film festival if their film's going to look like crap? I mean, I've heard of some film festivals that literally wheel in a TV.
Wow.
And you watch the films on a TV. Now, to me, that is not fair to the people that have paid money to enter.
No.
So that was our hugest expense, and still is having a nice theater space to properly present the films. So if you play things right and spend your money in the proper places, there's a lot of festivals that come out and they want to be like Sundance immediately, spend all their money on things you don't need right away, and then they fold in a few years.
Yeah. Oh my God. People have said to me, I should start a festival or a convention, and I'm like, yeah, if I win the lottery.
Right. Well, and it's so much work for what you're doing. I mean, there's so much that goes into it. It's really crazy. When people ask me, advice on starting, I tell them, don't do it. Absolutely don't start one, because it's too much work, and then you feel stuck. Like you can't close it. You can't quit, even if you feel like it, because so many people are dependent on it. They want it. They need it. You feel like you're giving up on people if you do. But I know of a horror film festival that was been around. We've been around 18 years, and this one I think was maybe 16. But I found out that they may be folding.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty sad. And then there's all these new ones popping up, and who knows what's going to happen with those.
Yeah. I went to my very first film festival back in February. I was pressed there. The famous Monsters Silver Scream Fest in Santa Rosa.
Did you like it?
Oh, I had a blast, and oh my God! So the only reason why I did it was because two of my friends were there signing, Kelly Maroney and Barbara Crampton.
Oh yeah.
They were signing there, so I went to see them because I haven't seen them in a while, and meet a couple other people, Rico Browning, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and stuff. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and Suzanne Snyder was doing a screening of Killer Clowns because it's the 30th anniversary, and yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I'd like to do more film festivals, but God, there's at least in like distance from where I am in Redding, California, there's not like a whole lot of them. There's a couple in Sacramento and stuff, but just schedule is a factor. But I'm gonna make it a point in 2019 to go to more festivals because they are a lot of fun.
They really are, and you get to see all the talent that's out there that people don't realize.
And yeah, God, it was just great. And yeah, they had discounts for like popcorn and soda,
right,
and all that. I was only there. I was only there the first night. I wish I could been there all weekend, but I couldn't. But I'm going to try to do it next year, though.
Good.
So, what year did you do the first one?
2001.
2001. That was the year I graduated high school.
Oh wow.
That was
that was a long time ago.
So you were able to pull it off very well that first year with all the craziness of 9/11 and everything happening.
Yes, and we were actually concerned about that because that happened right before we were doing the festival.
Mm-hmm.
And we hold the festival on a studio lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was concern that they weren't going to allow it.
Yeah.
Because what if someone came in the studio lot with something? But all worked out just fine.
Oh, that's great. God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's an event that changed our lives.
I know. I know.
It was a crazy time for that.
Yeah.
And
part of me felt guilty. Like, should we even be doing the festival?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, having this just had happened in our country, but the filmmakers really, really wanted it. I think people needed that escape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't going to be like, Bruce Dern and Black Sunday. Somebody was going to blow up a festival or a football game or something.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so you have people volunteer for the festival?
We do, yeah. We do.
Have you had volunteers that went on to become successful in the industry?
Volunteers. I don't think so. We've had lots of filmmakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of filmmakers that have gone on, but not volunteers.
Yeah, because I've been told, if you volunteer at festivals and conventions and stuff, that's a good way to get into the industry.
Sure it is, because you're meeting
all
kinds of people while you're there.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. I don't know if it's helped anyone or not. I haven't heard. One of our volunteers, she designed our new trophies, so that was kind of a big deal for her, because I had just, out of the blue said, hey, I'm thinking about redesigning our trophies. She's like, I have some ideas, and she said, I'll send them over, and I wasn't thinking that, I was probably like, I'll probably think these are nice, but not what I want. And one of her designs was exactly what I wanted. It was perfect. So that was kind of a success story. So now she's got her name on all the Shriekfest trophies.
Wow, that's great. Sounds like she's an artist.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Nice. Who have you had make appearances there in horror?
Oh, goodness. We have had a lot of people. Like, are you talking filmmakers-wise or stars?
Yeah, everything, pretty much.
So we've had, The Babadook was directed by Jennifer Kent. She is Shriekfest alumni.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Bishop, he did The Other Side, Dance of the Dead. Kevin Gruder, the Saw movies. Kenneth J. Hall, Puppet Master. Olatunde Osunsami, The Fourth Kind. Darren Scott, Tales from the Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Flanagan.
Oh, Mike Flanagan.
Yeah, Oculus, Absentia. Absentia was his film that won at Shriekfest.
Mm-hmm.
Just all kinds of people. And then, of course, we have people come to the festival all the time. Our opening night party is loaded with horror icons and stuff, and it's just a blast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So overall, your advice for aspiring film festival organizers is don't do it.
Yes, absolutely. Don't do it. It's too much work.
But what would you say if they were gonna do it?
I would say be very smart with how you spend your money.
Be very smart with how you spend your money.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to go broke quick.
And get people you can trust involved.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Hmm. I saw this video on YouTube where they were interviewing women in horror, and you were one of them. And the question that they were asking everybody was, uh, I can't remember. It was along the lines of, do you think that women in horror are underappreciated? And I liked what what you were saying in the interview, because I agree with you.
What did I say? I don't remember.
I can't remember either, but just like, everybody was saying, yeah, in the industry, there's a lot of sexism, and they don't write really good rules for women in horror movies
Right.
and stuff.
Well, the thing is, so many people look at horror and think, yeah, the women aren't treated right, the women this, women that. I do not agree with any of that in life in general, not just the horror world. Things are the way you see them. So, like, I don't want anything handed to me because I'm a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to work just as hard as anyone else if I want something. I don't want to be handed something because I'm a woman. And I think horror is becoming more and more intelligent. I mean, we've all seen the movies where the woman's running and she trips and, oh no, her blouse popped open. And I think things have gotten much more intelligent nowadays. I'm not saying there's no place for that sort of horror, because a lot of people do love it still.
Right.
But I think that's what they talk about when they say women are looked down upon in this industry. But I don't believe that at all. I don't think I have ever been looked down upon for doing Shriekfest or anything that I do. But maybe it's just because I won't allow it. I don't know. I don't know why women think they are not getting equal rights and all that. I really don't. I mean, you hear different things where it's money or something, but I don't think I've ever been on a set where if I was doing an equal size role as a male that I wasn't paid the same. I don't know. I just have never experienced it, so I guess that's why it's hard for me to answer that question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a guy who's pro woman, and my parents brought me up to respect women.
Yay!
And and I write screenplays, and in my screenplays, even the horror ones, like, the women are strong, and I make them that way because that's how I believe they should be. And I write a lot of lesbian characters because I'm from the Bay Area and I got a lot of lesbian friends.
Sure.
And stuff. So I basically do that for them. And
that's great.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't try so much of making the men in the stories weak, but I try to make them, I try to make them just, I can't think of a way to put it. They're not weak, but they're not ignorant either. They're just, dumb, for being men, and just the women, shows them the light.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's something that I think is lacking in today's movies, and that's what I tried to write and stuff.
Oh, that's nice. I'm sure you will have an easy time finding actresses to be in your films because of that too.
Oh yeah, I'm trying. That's one of the great things about networking in the convention and festival circuit is that I meet the filmmakers and stuff. I haven't met a whole lot of filmmakers, but a lot, but I've met a lot of actors too. And sometimes I forget, oh my God, they're actors, they're not producers or directors and stuff. And
Right.
they don't have that much power of control, over screenplays,
Right, right.
That's why I got to do the festival circuit more.
Yeah, no, it will definitely help to get to know people, and if for nothing else, just advice when you need it.
Absolutely. So who's going to be the lineup this year?
Well, we have 48 films, and 10 are features, and they are amazing. We have world premieres of some, we have California premieres of some, LA premieres, and so let's talk about the features a little bit. We have Alive. I don't know if you've gone to our site. Our site has Shriekfest.com. It has all the trailers and stuff, so you click on the schedule and you can click on any of the movies and watch trailers and read a little bit about them. And we have a terrific lineup. I so wish you could come, Tommy. You would love it.
I wish I could this year, though. I'll try definitely next year, though.
Good. Yeah, you will really enjoy it. It's amazing. People come just as fans because they come every year to Shriekfest. They enjoy the films, and they know that you can't see these films everywhere.
Yeah.
So, especially in a theater. Now, you may be able to see some of these on video down the road. A few will probably get theatrical release. But most of them are going to be, live streaming or video on demand, that sort of thing. But to see it in a theater with an audience is wonderful.
Yeah, there's no greater feeling than to watch a movie with an audience.
Yeah, and you take that ride with them. Everybody's got that same energy going. It's just, it's the best. I will never stop loving seeing a movie in the theater.
Me neither.
And at Raleigh Studios, we've got one of the top theaters in the country because they screen movies for executives there. So they are constantly upgrading equipment to the best of the best. Because when you're screening movies for executives at Paramount, they don't want to show them their final product on some cheap projection or cheap sound. So we got the best of the best there, and the filmmakers love it. They come out of their film and they say, "Oh my gosh, I've never seen my film look so good," and that is a really cool feeling.
Yes, it sure is. And which horror movie actors are going to be there? Because I know Suze Lanier will be there.
Yep, she's going to be there. Tiffany Shepis is going to be there. We're still kind of lining up a lot, but let me look at my list up to right now. We have, of course, all the filmmakers. I would say 90% of the filmmakers are going to be there, which is great. We're probably going to have Gigi and Reggie Bannister.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're good friends of mine, and so I'm hoping they can make it out again. We're going to have Lisa Wilcox-Sherman. We're going to have Amanda...
Wiss.
I always mess up her last name. Is it Wiss?
Wiss.
Yes. Kelly Maroney's coming.
All right.
Diane Franklin.
Oh, I love Diane. She was my very first guest.
Oh, really? Brooke Lewis. One of my besties, Barbara Magnolfi from Suspiria.
Oh.
Kelly Maroney. Oh, I already said Kelly. Let's see. Bria Grant. Suze, of course, we already talked about. Of course, all these filmmakers, which is going to be great. I'm just trying to scan through this list. I said Tiffany Shepis. Filmmaker after filmmaker after filmmaker. But that's what we have finalized as of right now. And more coming in every day as the people are, figuring out who from their cast can come. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Oh, my God. So, yeah, Diane was my first guest. I've had her on three times, and I'm going to have her on again at the end of October to promote that 80s in the Sand festival she does in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just love Diane. She's a national treasure.
Oh, that is cool.
And Sue's, oh my God, she's a typical country girl. Like, she's a lady in public, but you get her alone, she loves a good dirty joke.
I know, she's trippy, right?
Yeah, love her. And
Yeah, she's great.
and Tiffany Shepis, I almost met her at Monsterpalooza last year. She was doing a panel with Felissa Rose, and then I had to leave early, and I couldn't meet her and stuff.
Oh, she's super nice. I've known her for a long time.
Yeah, wow, Reggie Bannister. Oh my God, I have a Phantasm poster signed by Don Coscarelli, and I'd like his
Excellent.
I'd like his name on there too.
Yeah, well, yeah. See, if you were coming, you would get it because he is a doll. He would sign it easily.
Wow. Oh my God. I see on Facebook, Dave O'Shea.
Yep.
Yeah, he's worked at Comcast for years. He was there. My mom and my brother worked with him there. They're good friends with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's I don't know who's dirtier, me or him.
Oh, that's funny. He's actually coming to the festival, I believe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy. So when is it exactly?
It's October 4th through the 7th in Los Angeles, and then November 3rd in Orlando.
Oh, you have one in Florida?
Yes, this will be our second year in Florida now.
Oh, nice! Wow.
Yeah.
How's it over there?
It's good. Well, it's interesting because it's like starting all over, trying to get people to, realize what it is. But the people that came last year loved it. And we're already selling tickets, and so I'm really super excited. It's like anything. Until the word's out, it's a slow process, but everyone that did come loved it. So that's really all that matters, because they'll tell their friends, and they'll tell their friends, and so on and so forth, just like building ballet.
Just like a Calgon commercial.
Yep.
Oh, that's so awesome. Today is Stephen King's birthday.
Oh, is it really? Well, happy birthday, Stephen.
Yes, happy birthday, Stephen. I seen his son walking around Monsterpalooza.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he looks just like him.
Oh, I bet.
He didn't look like him when he was a kid, when he was in Creepshow, but now he just looks dead on like him, like he's a dead ringer.
Oh, wow.
No pun intended.
Yeah, that could work that way, couldn't it?
Well, Denise, you are a charming lady.
Oh, Tommy, thank you so much. This was fun.
Yes, and I've really enjoyed this. I thank you so much, and I wish you continued success with Shriekfest. And
thank you, and you too. And I'm glad that you are doing what you love, and even though you went through the horrible accident, it got you going in the right direction.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I love what I'm doing, and gonna keep on doing it. And yeah, I hope to be out there to the fest next year and meet you and all that.
Great. I look forward to that. That will be fun.
Awesome. Well, you have yourself a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Denise Gossett. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Denise. Like I said, very charming lady, a lot of fun, very informative, and I really hope the festival continues because it sounds like, based on what you told me, that it is just super awesome, and I'm glad things are going well for you. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.